This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Welcome in. First at 11, prepare for slick roads when you head out the door in the morning as another round of snow moves across central Indiana. Good evening to you. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullen. School delays are scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now and updating as more come in.
Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory joins us now with a Storm Team 6 alert. Kevin.
And as I mentioned, we're not done with the accumulating snow. That will move back in overnight while we're sleeping before the morning drive. That will leave conditions slick once again. As far as additional snowfall, generally an inch to maybe 2 inches on the high side to the north. Those of you that have had just rain so far today will see a light snow less than an inch through the morning hours. 11 o'clock tonight, that's what we're looking at now. This is a wintry mix in Indy with the temperature still just above freezing. There's some more snow in the western portion of the state. Between 4 and 7, that's when our snow chances peak once again. They'll diminish through the day tomorrow then. 1 o'clock to 4, the expansion of the very light snow by 7 a.m. pushing to the east, but the evidence will be there of that additional accumulation. Temperatures in the morning right at freezing, maybe a little above. This will be critical as to how slick the roads are.
1 week after 4 young people were shot and killed at a northeast side apartment complex, police are back out at the same location investigating the shooting death of a 27-year-old man.
I had to wipe a young black man's blood off my hands. I had to use the snow to actually wipe his blood off my hands.
Tonight we heard from a neighbor who says he saw the victim laying on the ground and did what he could to save his life. This latest shooting happened just before 7:30 at the Carriage House East Apartments at 42nd Street in Midhofer. The victim later died at the hospital.
It's hard to see stuff like that. You know, I walk up, this man's laying in the street bleeding. I had to do what I had to do to basically stop his bleeding and save his life. And I shouldn't have to do that, you know what I mean? I just hope all these people that say they want to help do something.
Police have not released any information about a suspect, but they say it is not related to last week's quadruple homicide.
It is violent crime like tonight's shooting that has the community searching for answers. RTV6 reporter Cameron Riddle joins us now to continue an important conversation with young people about finding solutions to the violence. Cameron.
Amanda, good evening. As the young men that we introduced you to last week are about to tell you, they are no stranger to seeing crime scenes like the one police are at tonight. As they told me, the key to staying out of trouble is staying in an activity. It's all key to their survival, and it only increases when they have a mentor by their side. Raise your hand if you've ever seen a crime scene. Raise your hand if you've ever seen a crime scene in your neighborhood. Raise your hand if you know somebody who has been shot. The reality for these young men growing up in Indianapolis is they have already seen both sides of what their future could hold, and their parents know that too. That's why the single mothers who are raising them have instilled in them the need to be involved in an activity, particularly where positive role models are guiding their path. Some of them have already found that role model.
Mr. Ross happened. It's like he taught me the way of life.
What do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now.
After literally walking beside him through Indianapolis' streets, 11-year-old Reese Hamilton has taken a shine to community leader D. Ross. When you look at D, what is it that you like what you see?
How he has confidence, how he is a growing person, and he makes people better, feel better. Know things. He can educate you. You can learn things from him.
I asked this group, made up of a future civil rights leader, engineer, football player, and pharmacist, what they would ask city leaders for to help them achieve their dreams.
Programs for young black men so they won't be on the streets.
But also make like a genuine effort to try to introduce people, and you know, sometimes it's not always easy to bring people in, but you got to keep on pushing and keep on trying to get their attention, because eventually they will come if you try hard enough.
I think the city need more community involvement. I think they need to reach out to the community and actually like try to help instead of talk about it and, you feel me, trying to put on an image.
All right, so Miko, who was one of the guys you didn't actually get to hear from in this piece, says that he wants the city to create more jobs for teens to teach them the power of a dollar and how to earn what you have, the same way his football program taught him that work ethic that allowed him to pay for his own football uniform. So now, Amanda, the mayor would tell you that there are already programs out there that are in the summer that keep teens in working and off of the streets. And while that is very true, as you heard from those young men's own mouth, they want that effort to be increased.
And Cameron, this is just one part of a much larger conversation you had with these boys, right?
Yeah, that's right. We first showed you this on Friday, and so if you want to go back and watch all of this conversation, you can do so by going to our website, theindychannel.com. We'll talk about what keeps them out of trouble and what keeps them busy, just the simple things they're asking for.
Okay, thank you, Cameron, for that.
Now, a reminder, IMPD detectives are staffing a 24-hour tip hotline right now. The 48-hour push is an effort to generate information in two recent high-profile cases: the deadly shooting of a Subway restaurant employee during a robbery attempt on January 27th and last week's quadruple homicide. Both crimes happened on the northeast side. The homicide office number is 317-327-3475, and you can always call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 317-262-TIPS.
And you can also call IMPD or Crime Stoppers if you have information about this suspect. Police believe the man in this surveillance picture is an Indianapolis resident. He's wanted in connection to the murders of a 13-year-old boy and his mother and Gary. They were killed in March of last year.
Tomorrow will mark 3 years since the day Libby German and Abby Williams went missing in Delphi. They were found dead the next day. The families are once again asking the community to honor the girls by giving back. The Remembering Abby and Libby food drive goes from 5 to 7 tomorrow evening at Delphi United Methodist Church. Non-perishable food or pet items will be accepted. The search for the girl's killer continues. Last year, police released this new sketch. It looks much different than the sketch originally released in the investigation. Police say this sketch is of the main person of interest in the case. The reward for information leading to an arrest is more than $250,000. For an in-depth look at the investigation, go to the RTV6 app.
New at 11, Ball State says a professor who called police to his classroom will not be teaching for the rest of the semester. We showed you video of the incident last month after a student posted it online.
All right, you want to sit here or do you want to leave?
Why am I moving in the middle of class? He legit stopped the class to try to move me. I've been back here on this PowerPoint.
Are you being disruptive in the class?
No, I'm not doing that. The whole damn class is here. It's cool. It's cool. You know what? I'm gonna leave.
He's been on our work the whole time.
The professor called police after a student would not move seats during class. The incident prompted a demonstration on campus and calls for change from students. Ball State released a statement to RTV6 tonight saying the teaching decision was made to ensure continuity in the curriculum and eliminate any unnecessary distractions.
New tonight, more concern and worry about Indigo's Blue Line, a new route that will run east-west across Indianapolis along Washington Street. It is still more than 2 years away from becoming reality. Many people say they know it's needed, but they want different construction plans. RTV6's Cornelius Hawker explains what changes they hope to see and tells us what Indigo has to say about their requests.
Several people showed up to Senator Mike Young's town hall meeting to talk about Indigo's Blue Line project.
We are not against mass transit, but we stand strong to support the changes that are necessary for the livelihood of our community.
The biggest issue everyone seemed to have is the plan to reduce the lanes on Washington Street.
1 lane east and 1 lane west, giving the center turn lane and both fast lanes to Indigo for bus-only lanes and center stations.
Rachel Hawkins is spearheading the response to Indigo's plans. She owns this business right along Washington Street. We talked with her last fall at a community discussion on this topic. She and several others spoke at length about the negative impact they feel reduced lanes will have on their businesses and the surrounding community.
We all want to see road improvements and beautification to Washington Street, but they certainly shouldn't be held hostage to this project or be forced to sacrifice lanes.
Senator Young couldn't answer many of their questions because this project isn't something he, as a legislator, would handle. However, Councilman Jared Evans answered questions to the best of his knowledge, but everything kept going back to Indigo.
We have signatures that we've turned over to you of over 500 residents, and we have over 100 businesses on board with keeping Washington Street 4 lanes. Our hope is that you will help us in this fight.
Working for you in Indianapolis. Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
Well, the plan reduces lanes only impacts a portion of the proposed Blue Line right along Washington Street. We're still waiting to hear back from Indigo about the concerns raised tonight, but in the past, a spokesperson said that they are taking notes and hoping to improve the plan while bringing more transportation options to Indianapolis. Tomorrow, you can learn more about the Purple Line. The 15.2-mile route will connect Indianapolis and Lawrence. Indigo will host an open house from 5:30 to 7:30 Thursday evening at Cafe Indy on 38th Street near Post Road. The Purple Line will replace Route 39. Construction is scheduled to start early next year, with service set to start in 2023.
RTV6 is working to get answers for a Central Indiana mother after a day of fun with her kids turned terrifying.
I was frantic. I knew she was in danger. I was absolutely sick to my stomach.
Mindy Black says she spent Saturday night at Jump and Play Noblesville with her 3 children. The facility is filled with bounce houses and inflatable slides. Mindy says her family stayed until closing time. As they got ready to leave, she realized her 3-year-old daughter was missing. Shortly after that, Mindy heard screaming and crying.
I began to look for her and actually did find her in one of the inflatables that was deflating. She was pinned underneath, and we were able to get her out. She was unharmed. However, very, very shaken up and very scared.
Mindy says an employee started deflating the bounce areas, trapping her daughter inside. Mindy is concerned this could happen again and the next child might not be so lucky. She tells RTV6 her calls and messages to Jump and Play have gone unreturned. We reached out as well on her behalf. A manager declined to comment. He told us his attorney would respond. We will continue to push for answers.
Coming up, a warning from police about a well-organized group of thieves suspected of targeting upscale communities. What we know about their mode of operation.
The Pacers built a big lead against the top team in the league, but would it be enough to end a 6-game losing streak? You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
Shine brighter than you ever thought possible. This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
New at 11, police believe a well-organized gang of thieves is committing crimes across the country, including central Indiana. Fishers police issued a warning tonight saying the gang stole a woman's wallet earlier this month at the Panera on 96th Street near I-69. Immediately after that, the woman's credit cards were being used to buy $5,000 in gift cards at the Super Target on 116th Street. Here's what detectives say about the suspects. They operate in groups of 2 or 3. They are usually well-dressed and drive rental cars to blend into upscale communities. They specifically target lunch places located near large retail stores and usually steal from women's purses. Here are some safety reminders that could help prevent you from becoming a victim. Keep your purse zipped or closed and never hang it over the back of a chair. Set up fraud alerts on all credit and debit cards, and police say do not wait until you get home to make a report if you think you've been victimized.
Working for you, RTV6 is getting perspective on how President Trump's proposed 2021 budget would impact central Indiana. The plan would eliminate community development block grants. The John Bonner Center on the east side of Indianapolis used grant money to help convert part of its facility into classroom space, where it now offers high school equivalency classes. A representative from the center says discounting or discontinuing those grants would be a disservice to the community.
Cutting the CDBG and home funding would be detrimental to the work that we do. I mean, I can certainly appreciate the complexities of trying to manage a budget. We have thousands of people that come here every year with needing help for their budgeting purposes. But without having the CDBG and home funding, that really limits in what we're able to do.
The proposal is unlikely to pass. Congress usually exercises its ability to ignore it and draft their own budget, but the budget gives a snapshot of the White House's priorities and wish list for next year.
Firefighters say a new location in Johnson County will help them play a bigger role in protecting schools. The White River Township Fire Department's new headquarters is on Morgantown Road in Greenwood, right in front of Center Grove Middle School North and Pleasant Grove Elementary School. Chief Jeremy Pell says this not only puts firefighters in a position to respond to those schools in minutes, it puts them front and center in the community.
We want to be accessible to the community. We want the schools to know that we are right here when all those kids are here during the day to take care of their every need. And we think that's a good model for the community. That's a good model for public safety.
The department moved because the Indiana Department of Transportation needed to acquire land for the I-69 project. INDOT paid for the move. Now to the weather. The left side of your screen is what it looks like right now at Rural and Keystone. The right side is what it looked like earlier this evening outside of the RTV6 studios.
There is a lot of snow out there.
Yeah, a little bit of a transition that we're going through this hour.
Yeah. A lot of people say, how do the snowflakes get that big? When the temperature is just above freezing, they're melting on the way down. One bumps into another and sticks and becomes a large snowflake. The growing list of school delays, I counted 69 here just a little bit ago. Just to double check my work, you could go to theindychannel.com, check our RTV6 app, and of course, tune in at 4:30 tomorrow morning. Good Morning Indiana. There'll likely be a few more on the list as we have additional snowfall tonight. Main roads have been wet because temperatures have stayed above freezing. The secondary untreated roadways quite slick. Additional snowfall in the 1 to 2 inch range. That will put snowfall totals at 3 or 4 inches. Some of you have already had 2 to 2.5 inches of snow. And the wintry mix that we have right now will become all snow overnight. Where will it come from? West central portions of Illinois now, almost stretching from Chicago to Springfield, Illinois to St. Louis, Missouri. This will make steady progress to the east and slide into central Indiana, replacing the wintry mix, the drizzle, mist, fog, and even some light snow that we have right now. Temperature 33 in Indy from Indianapolis and Greenfield. In Greencastle South, temperatures above freezing. 32 in Lafayette, temperature below freezing in Tipton at 30. Muncie above freezing right now. There's your widespread light snowfall at 4 a.m. By the time we get to 7 a.m., still pushing a lot of that into the eastern half of the state, and then by 10 we see this break apart. Doesn't mean we'll be done with the snowfall tomorrow. I think we'll see additional snow showers as Arctic air pulls into the state. Temperatures during the afternoon hours will be falling, squeezing out any available moisture through the day. Falling from that morning high of 32, that's the high temperature on Valentine's Day. Look what happens though, a 20-degree jump back into the 30s on Saturday. But tomorrow, don't dress for temperatures in the low 30s, dress for temperatures around 20 later in the day, and then this is what it will feel like. That northwest wind will gust to 20, single-digit wind chills by tomorrow evening. Valentine's, rock bottom. In the morning hours, 5 degrees. Lunchtime, about 15 and 18, your high temperature on Friday. That's fleeting temperatures. They warm up quickly. 43 by Sunday, 48 on Monday. Monday and Tuesday, temperatures right at that 50-degree mark with rain chances returning. We cool off again in the middle of next week.
Valentine's Day, the temperature there keeps dropping every day.
Cold-hearted, isn't it?
Oh. No. Dave?
Which is odd.
Not that that's the transition to you, but
usually it heats up on Valentine's Day, right? You know what I mean? Right? You know what I'm saying? That's right.
Pick it up what you're laying down.
That's right. Hey, college hoop. Another bounce-back opportunity for the Dogs. The 19th-ranked Butler getting it done against Xavier. Sean McDermott was Johnny on the spot there with the putback. TMI 14. Jordan Tucker, 10 off the bench. Butler wins at 66-61. Heats up on Valentine's Day, usually. Good evening to you. Pacers knew the numbers. 6 straight losses, 5 straight at home. But Milwaukee, no Giannis Antetokounmpo tonight. He's on paternity leave. Speaking of heating up. Pacers in white and not wasting any time. Malcolm Brogdon picks up the loose ball. Could have easily just finished the lane instead to leave for Victor Oladipo. Jam, he had 13 on a better shooting night tonight. Played 28 minutes. Once again, it gets close, though, in the fourth. 4-point game, and Brogdon stepping up to finish. The assist to T.J. Warren at a game-high 35. Pacers on a 12-2 run. Game, set, and match. Pacers snapped their 6-game losing streak. Brogdon 17 and 13 assists. Brad Brown at the Fieldhouse and has more.
The Pacers have been a couple weeks waiting for a night like this. Start well, shoot well, and finish well. Even though the Bucks' top player took the night off, regardless, the Pacers come away with a much-needed win heading into the All-Star break.
I'm struggling a little bit, but it's good to follow the game plan, execute what we was trying to do from start to finish. We knew they was going to make a run and just countered it to finish the game.
I think the biggest thing is when we defend like that, especially like we did in the first half, we give ourselves a chance to beat anyone.
We got this. Everything's all right. We've been playing the game for a long time. Just go do what we do. And, you know, we stayed together. And, you know, on both ends of the floor, and that was huge.
The Pacers enter the break firmly in 6th place in the Eastern Conference. They'll have some work to do to get up into one of those home court spots when the playoffs roll around. The regular season continues next Friday in New York. At Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
Good win for those guys. Finally, some sunny skies in Austin, Texas. IndyCar finally able to get in some laps at COTA today. Second and final day of the testing. Doesn't matter the year. Doesn't matter if there's aero screens. Doesn't matter what the cars look like. Will Power was the fastest. Minute 46 around that road course. Alexander Rossi was second quick. And Penske rookie Scott McLaughlin, he was third. Season opens March 15th in St. Pete. Just check the weather. It is 74 degrees in St. Petersburg, Florida.
And if you close your eyes and listen to the hum there.
Sounds like IndyCars. Right.
And summer. All right. Well, if you can afford a nanny but don't know where to start when it comes to hiring one, a Central Indiana service can help you. That's next.
At Dream Mattress Studio at Value City Furniture.
If your career goals are out of this world, we have the job opportunity for you. NASA is looking for its next class of astronauts. Applications will be accepted from March 2nd to the 31st. Requirements include a U.S. citizenship and a master's degree in one of the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, or math. The Hoosier State has a close connection to NASA. Purdue calls itself the cradle of astronauts, according to the university. 25 astronauts are Purdue grads, including, of course, Neil Armstrong.
Well, finding the right child care is a major task for any parent or guardian, especially working parents.
Nannies are becoming more popular for people who can't afford them.
RTV6's Meredith Barrick spoke to a Central Indiana mother about why a nanny works for her family.
My husband and I are both in the medical field, and our hours are not so traditional.
Caroline Slaybaugh says the ages of her kids, 10 and 1, didn't help their situation either. They often felt as though they had to be in two places at two different times.
We knew a nanny was really our only option in terms of being able to deal with our schedule and having that flexibility.
After searching on their own, only to be met with disappointment and stress, they turned to Indy Nanny Concierge to find the right nanny to fit their unconventional schedules and both children's needs.
We saved us time, and it made us feel really good knowing that these people who are being presented to us were going to fit our needs and wants, along with our flexible timing.
Michaela Minnick ended up being the perfect match.
I leave every morning knowing that the kids are well taken care of. They will have academic input and moments of learning, all integrated with fun and love every single day.
Slaybaugh wants other working families to feel that way too, even if traditional daycare has always been their go-to.
I think there are a lot of people out there who need that flexibility. And even if you do work a standard, 9 to 5, there are a lot of people who need to go run errands or do other things beyond those hours where you do need that flexibility.
Working for you, Meredith Barrick, RTV6.
And families who work with Indy Nanny Concierge are asked to commit to a nanny for at least 30 hours a week. They are paid between $18 and $25 an hour, depending on experience. For more info about job opportunities with the company or any career opportunity you see on RTV6, go to hiringhoosiers.com. We'll be right back.
Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.
Okay, think back to your childhood. When you found out there was a 2-hour delay for school, could you get back to sleep, or were you too excited at that point?
Oh, no, I'm back to sleep.
Yeah, I usually found out about it myself during morning cereal.
I grew up in Los Angeles, so that wasn't a thing.
Watching Captain Kangaroo the rest of the morning?
Watching all the cartoons
31 in the morning, some snow around, but only in the low to mid-20s when the kids get off the bus.
I wish a delay came with work, too. That'd be nice.
Oh, it could. Yeah.